we get this a lot with people like, oh, I want to have you over, but my house isn't done. And I'm like, throw that crap that's in the entry hall into the closet and have us over if that makes you feel better. Right. I don't care. Like, I don't care. We're not those like bitchy gays that are coming in your house and like critique. Like, I like stuff that probably other people don't like, whatever. I don't care. If it makes you happy, do it.
Welcome to the Blackberry Podcast, where we share stories, wisdom, and insight from the amazing people we get to meet and collaborate with at Blackberry Farm. I'm Sarah Chabot.
And I'm Mary Celeste Beall. Welcome.
And today we have two amazingly creative guests who also happen to be a couple. Nathan Turner, decorator, a designer, a creative. I mean, I feel like you have like a long list on yours.
I'm just your typical Los Angeles hyphenate. Instead of actor, waiter / model, it's decorator, home cook, lifestyle expert, which it always sounds so funny to me. Like, aren't we all living a lifestyle? But I guess I'm an expert at it.
I think you're an expert. I mean, following your Instagram, I want to cook the food that you're cooking and decorate my home the way you decorate.
Okay, good. Well, then it's working.
Yes. Yeah. And then Eric Hughes, former Hollywood executive turned celebrated interior decorator, and has an interesting story of how you got to the industry. So I can't wait to dive in to both of your all stories. But I think I'm like really interested in understanding how two creative people cohabitate
and survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you have a similar sensibility or?
No.
Not
at all.
You like, is one beach, one mountain?
Well, that is true just in our likes. Okay. Eric is a beach person.
Yeah.
And I'm a mountain person. I'm a country. Like, I always like to remind people out there that California can be country, y'all. It can.
Y'all.
And that's how kind of I grew up. And but it kind of carries over to our homes. I tell this funny story about when we first were dating, and Eric invited me to his house out in Wainscott, out in Long Island. And I called my best friend after being there for like 24 hours. And I was like, this is never going to work. She's like, why? What happened? I was like, nothing happened. The place is immaculate. There are 4 things in this whole house, and my greasy fingerprints are all over every shiny surface, and I'm tracking in dirt. And Eric's like, you're newly dating, and he's being really like chill about it, but I could see him like wiping down counters after me. And he's like, no, it's all right. I'm like, oh, am I making a mess? He's like, no, it's fine. And I'm making like a horrible mess. But somehow opposites attract.
It just works.
It works. I think also in the real scheme of things, when it comes to our personal homes and our lives, especially when it comes to decorating, I have a tendency. He loves layers and stuff and collections and things, and I appreciate that, but that's not necessarily kind of my go-to. So I kind of pull that back a little bit. So I kind of clean him up a little bit, and he warms me up a little bit because we have kind of added layers there, and it turns out to be actually a really nice balance.
I love that.
And just for the record, our house in Ojai, it's full of stuff. It is full of stuff. It doesn't start out that way. It is well ordered. But it's probably way more stuff than he would have if I wasn't in the picture.
Yeah.
This gives me hope for my domestic relationship.
Yeah. Just, don't ask. That's what I
just bring
say.
it in.
Just bring it in.
I mean, the great thing is if it became an issue, you could always sell it to a client.
Sell it to a client. I have a store again.
Or it could be for a client, and you just wanted to show it to Eric. Just you test the waters. It's
like it here for a minute.
I mean, this vase is beautiful.
Sometimes it's a way station for just kind of passing through. But I think that's how we feel about a lot of things anyway, especially you starting out in antiques. And I love the idea that things kind of come into your life and spend a little time, and then back out the door they can go to a client or to the shop, or when they aren't working or whatever it is, and let someone else enjoy them and kind of have their time with them as well. There are things that I've gotten from my grandparents and my parents, et cetera, and Nathan as well, that are obviously, sentimental and meaningful, and we would never let those go. But other things, there's so much stuff in our lives for clients and for everyone that I don't know that I have the same relationship and kind of hold on to things the way that sometimes other people do. And I kind of like that. I like it.
Yeah, we're both that way about like, oh, we've enjoyed that. We're moving on.
Yeah.
And someone else is going to love it, you know?
Right, because you have bought something else new that you're
It's
excited
in
about.
the, like,
Meanwhile, Eric was going to be okay with some
it's in the
negative
green room
space.
waiting. Like, it's just like, oh, yeah, that's great. We can get rid of that.
Yeah, and you're
And then I'm like,
"Here
and
it
all of a sudden, beep,
comes."
beep. Like, bring it in. Yeah, kind of. Yes.
So let's go back to like the first shop.
The first shop is how I started in the design world. I wasn't a decorator. I got a job working for an antique dealer out of college. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I had studied business because my parents told me to do something practical. Don't like get a degree in basket weaving. And I always remember them saying that. And I'm like, that's not a thing. So stop saying that to me. And I did. And then I did something insane because I'm like such a just crazy person, I guess. When I saw the like getting a business degree and then how close it was to an economics degree. So I was like, well, I'll just add that on there too, because I'm already almost there. So I studied business and economics and it was so boring for me, a creative person, like awful, like all the kids that were in my class. I was like, these people are boring. This class is boring. Like all of it was boring. So then I added more complication to the degree and added an international concentration on it. Only so, just I kept like going. Only because I could then go to another country and I really wanted to go to Italy. And so I had done an exchange program in high school and I loved it there. So I did a year at the University of Siena outside of Florence. And it was great, and I had fun, and it still meant nothing to me, that the international part of my business program, any of it. And I came home and finished school and had no idea what I wanted to do. And I ended up getting a job with an antique dealer friend of my family's because I could speak Italian. So I just, like still with my parents to this day that like that's what got me a job. And then I laughed at my mom's like, well, calm down. It's like an assistant in an antique shop. It's not like a career, but like, who's laughing now, mom? You know, like,
I've got books, I got things.
So that's how, and then I worked for him for a couple years and I probably should have worked for him longer to get more experience under my belt. But I'm just the kind of person like, I got this, on to the next. And I opened my own shop in LA and, it had a kitchen and a fireplace and it was a little house and it just felt like a home. My dog was there and I would entertain and have people for lunches and dinners and which is something I really loved about the antique business in general, that like on the other end of it, when you're going, we still experience this that when we're like
in Belgium
or France and it's very like hospitable. I love antique dealers. They know everything. And it's like, I love getting information from them. And you're always in their homes or they deal out of a barn at their house. And I just loved that quality for a business. And so I thought I want to implement that in my own shop and in my own like funny California way. I was barely ever wearing shoes in my shop, which they don't do in Belgium. They're much fancier. And that got me a lot of attention in the beginning, and it really helped my business. It helped the business grow and get eyes on it. And people would just come in and say like, oh, this is so pretty. I want that chest of drawers, but wait, can you do my house? I was like, I guess I can. And that's really how I didn't go to design school. Sometimes I wish I had. I didn't work for a decorator to get that practical information, and sometimes I wish I had, but then sometimes I'm glad I didn't, because quite often you are forever like have that person stamp on you,
right?
And I just had to kind of wing it, but I had a lot of help from friends, people like Mary McDonald, who's like how I met Eric. They grew up together. She's like an insanely talented decorator, and we were on a television show together later. And she was so generous with me starting out. And then she's like, here's my contract. call this painter. Here's a curtain person. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to the curtain person when I call them. And, like those are the kind of people that, and there's so many other people like that I will never forget. And I will always give credit to and be thankful for. And it makes me want to always be willing to help other people as well that are coming up and trying to figure things out. But I feel like younger people are so much smarter than I was back. There's so much more information.
They also have so much accessibility.
Oh my God.
I mean, the idea of you not knowing how to measure for the curtains or what information for yardage or whatever.
Not being able to Google that.
I mean, right.
There's a YouTube video for that.
Seriously. I mean, AI could tell them how to do it.
Now.
I mean, whether or not AI would be right, that's a question. But it is incredible the amount of resourcefulness that you had to have.
Yeah.
So Eric, you also had a sort of circuitous route to the industry as well, right?
Yeah. I started off in the film business and worked my way up to being an executive at Universal Pictures in the motion picture division. And it was a great job for a really long time. I loved it, but it was one of those jobs that really kind of demanded a lot, and it was a corporate job. And by the end of it, I don't know how many years later, I just was a little bit burned out, and it was kind of time to try and think about something else, someplace else, something else to do. And I kind of kept thinking it would be in the film business. I wasn't quite sure where it would be. I kept thinking maybe I'll move back to New York. I wasn't quite sure, so I kind of traveled for a while and came back. And a very good friend of mine had purchased a home in Bridgehampton and an pretty old farmhouse, and said that she wanted me to decorate it. And it had always been a hobby, and it was an interest that the two of us had shared, and I had known her for 20 years, so we had a great, solid relationship. But I was still apprehensive because it was a friendship, and it was a lot of money and responsibility, and if it didn't go well, I didn't want the friendship to end. But she kind of pushed me into it, and I did it. And for the next kind of 9 months or so, I lived out at the house in a kind of a construction zone and oversaw everything and decorated. And at the end of it, it was a great experience, and they loved the house. And I learned along the way that it was very similar to producing a picture. It's, you have your contractor who's your director, and you have your crew, and you have a budget, and you have this idea, like a script that, when you're reading a script, you have an idea of what the movie's going to be at the end of the day. And sometimes it's better than what you imagine, and sometimes it doesn't quite hit the mark. But the same with this kind of project and decorating. I had this idea of what the vision was and what I wanted it to look like, and I was working towards that. So it felt very similar, and so it became something that was kind of familiar to me, and a process that was familiar. And it was very type A, kind of big picture and detail, which I'm kind of good at. So I enjoyed it. And the client was Sarah Jessica Parker, who was a really good friend, and kind of saw something in me that I necessarily didn't see in myself, and it was never a career that I was going to go after. And
sometimes
it just kind of happened.
Takes like a friend on the outside, like her in this case, to push and say, like, I kind of see your next step before you do. And I think that's really great. And I love they still work together. And it's like, it's the funniest thing because I've never seen a pair so linked up with the same like vision for things. They really are, because she's super creative and has like a really good, strong point of view and amazing taste and an amazing sense of color, like really good sense of colors. And like they just like click in, and it's really fun to actually watch them work.
Yeah. It was fun. It was great, and they loved the house, and it was so that made me happy as
and it
well.
ended up on the cover of Elle Decor,
right?
Yeah.
Published,
and that was it.
first project, out of the gate.
Nothing like being a beginner.
Yeah.
Right?
So it really
It's like, ting,
it teed the
boom.
whole thing up for me in a really beautiful way, and I just kind of never looked back.
Still doing it.
Yeah, still doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's so many projects that you're into and you're doing. I mean, from the art
Yeah.
all the way to the recipes. I'm sort of obsessed with all.
Stop. I don't know. I just am like always. I guess this is when like ADD is like beneficial. You know, I just am I'm. It's funny because when I wrote my second book, I Love California, it's a cookbook essentially, 75 recipes. And I remember getting funny responses from people like, "You're writing a cookbook?" And it really annoyed me. And I was like, don't put me in a box. You know what I mean? Like, you can't write a cookbook. Why? And I was like, because I cook.
Because I could.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just that, like, and if you are a chef and you want to do a decorating book, do your decorating book, girl. Like, I'm not going to stop you. Like, if you decorate, like, I think creativity knows no bounds. Like, why do you have to stay in one particular arena? I don't know what that's about for people, but I love it. I'm like, yeah, I want to do books. I want to cook. I want to make fabric. I mean, I want to do the cabin down by the horses and turn it into a place for chili after you ride horses.
Oh yeah, we've got a vision.
I've got vision.
Yes.
All the time. It never stops.
But and maybe that vision is something that you can't just tuck away. Like you've got to let it out, right?
Yes, it is. And like some stuff just goes by the wayside. I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like after you start to really flesh it out. But most of the time, you know, whether it's big or small, like these are things I want to do. I know that if I can't stop thinking about it, it's something I can do. I will do it well. You know what I mean?
It's a calling.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you must have a great team because to do all that you're doing, or are you just?
I mean, it makes me laugh looking at coming from you because we came home last night and I was like, you're talking to someone who's a lunatic that does a gazillion things. And I'm like, how does she do this? I don't understand. We don't have 5 children. Oh, you know, like how does she do this and that part?
Well, just remember I only have 2 at home now.
Yes.
And I wasn't necessarily super nice to the one that was still awake when I got home at 11 from dinner. And I'm like, why are you still awake?
Was she doing her skincare when you got home?
No, she was, I can't even remember. Oh wait, I think I had too much wine. Just kidding.
No, but it's true. I have an amazing team and it's very small. I got really good advice when I was starting out. When I would start, another one of the mentors, like Mary was for me, was the legendary Mario Boada from New York. I had met him at the antique store that I worked for before. And then he was very supportive of my store when he would come out to California. And he was so nice to me. It also didn't hurt that I was really cute, you know? And he's like, come out, shadow me for 2 weeks. You'll see what it's like. You'll see what it's like to live this life. And and I did, and it was so valuable. Like, obviously I wasn't getting like practical, like billing information and stuff, but it was, I mean, I remember like the second day, like meeting up with him and then going to a client meeting, coming up in the elevator. I'm from California. We don't have a lot of the buildings with the elevators that come up, and it's like different strokes, you know, it's like, wow, this is so glamorous. And coming up into the Forbes apartment. And I was like, oh my God, this is like New York City. It's like really exciting. And he had, at that point in his career, he's working out of his townhouse on 80th. And he had a very small team. And he said, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that I wish I had done a long time ago. Keep your team small because you're going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then you are going to have to take everything that comes your way to feed the machine. And it's all going to kind of come out the same anyway. So I never forgot that. Also, I think I'd be really bad at like managing a bunch of people, you know, just be like, I don't know. So I really took that advice to heart, and we have a really small team, but they're all super talented, really amazing and very flexible. And that's what important. I like about being able to like, I think we're both the same way in the sense of like, I will never ask anybody to do anything that I'm not going to do myself.
Right.
Like, and this
Yeah.
decorating is not like, there's like 2% that's glamorous.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, I'm like on my hands and knees smelling my client's carpet. Like, that's not cute. You know what I mean? But like, someone said it smells weird. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? It's like things like that. Or I'm eating like grocery store sushi in my car on my way to a meeting. Like, it's not, we produce glamorous content,
Right.
like, and products and end products, but the nuts and bolts of it are a lot of work, a lot of organization,
Mhm.
which he's really good at too. He's really good at construction, which kind of like scares me a little bit still. You know what I mean? It's a like, it's big decisions,
Yeah,
you know?
So when y'all are working on your own personal project, do y'all kind of divide and conquer a little bit? So Eric handles the construction piece.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll take on the usually the construction component. I mean, we collaborate along the way, but about the materials, et cetera. But I can kind of manage the crew and
No one's afraid of me on the construction set. But
I
he's
was
like,
gonna say, I mean,
no.
Eric's a tall guy.
He's
so
6'7",
I mean,
and he's not very talkative, and so he scares them a lot. And no one's afraid of me.
I mean,
ever.
you need having a little intimidation factor when you're working with contractors doesn't
Great.
hurt.
No,
Yeah.
I come in and I'm like, hey, let me see that marble. Like, that's fun. You
But
know?
I feel like there's a sense of calm here that if like things go sideways on a construct, like you're
Right.
gonna find a solution
Yeah,
for it.
Yeah.
And not raise your voice too
Yeah,
much.
no, I
No.
definitely enjoy the problem solving aspect of all of it because that's what a huge portion of that job requires, really. So I enjoy that part, and then we collaborate on the design, and
Mhm.
I don't know, it's really been kind of a very easy process, and everyone always questions that, and it's like, how do you guys work together and design together, et cetera? But we really kind of are in sync when it comes to our own homes. I think probably also because it's easy to be in sync. It's like here at Blackberry Farm, there's a strong thematic running through the property.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, you kind of know almost immediately if that's right or wrong for here. It could be a fabulous piece, but it's just not right for the farm. And it was
We
the
don't go
same.
off script.
You go off,
Either one of
exactly.
us.
Yeah.
So that's like why.
So
I
for
think we'll
Ojai,
work.
it was
Yeah.
like early California ranch house vibe, and we can play with that. And then kind of you can stray a little here and there from that to keep it interesting. But you kind of know what's going to fall into that. And the house that we're working on at the beach is the same. It kind of has this sea ranch vibe, 70s, slightly retro. And so once you kind of have that framework, then within that we can kind of play around a little bit, but you kind of know what's going to work there.
Are you doing another book on that one?
No. The next book's going to
Not
be
yet.
holidays. Not yet.
He already has his next book.
I know, I do already. I mean,
Well,
this one's not even out, and I've already like doing the next one. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll take lots of-
Document anyway.
Yes.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Right.
always. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your new book.
Yes.
Is it coming out in April?
April 14th?
April. I
Yeah.
was a day early.
Yeah.
So I got it. Okay. April 14th.
Yeah.
Nathan Turner's I Love Decorating.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what do
And
you, what?
I love the
Thank
cover.
you.
Well, it's got the pups.
And
got the-
Sarah doesn't even know this yet. It has this fabric, which is
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
Blackberry fabric.
blackberries.
Yeah.
What?
It is that
In
fabric.
wallpaper form.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you put it on. Is that on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Or, oh,
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. I mean, I cannot wait. Seriously, tomorrow when we're after we've wrapped up our boondoggle of Design Summit, I'm talking to Christine and we're going to figure out where that's going.
Yay. I love it.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So when,
Assuming it's in our budget. We are
yeah.
on a
Well,
budget around here.
I know. And we can also, I'm talking shop, we can treat it too, because,
yeah.
I know that
Things need treatment.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Yeah.
But you know who to call.
Yes.
we need to work around a
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the book. Tell us a little more.
The book is, in a way, it's kind of like a little decorating diary. I share projects. I work all over the world, which is really fun and exciting. And I wanted to share that aspect. And like my last book, I Love California, which is a bit scrapbooky and a lot of personal anecdotes and favorite things, I implemented that into this book where, you know, we open up at home in LA, but then we go to New York, and then we go to Singapore and Turks and Caicos and Jakarta, Indonesia, and obviously big, beautiful pictures, and kind of break down what I did and how I did it. But then I'll share like my favorite places in Jakarta and where I stay and the flea markets I go to. And that's the exciting thing about working somewhere other than home, whether it's in Denver or it's in, Singapore. It's like, it's exciting to source new things and try food. And I love that's always the first thing I'm doing on the plane is scoping out restaurants and texting friends. And so just sharing all of those things, because like we said earlier, my whole thing is, yes, I'm a decorator, but I really like encompassing everything, a pretty home, a pretty table. I always tell clients that don't cook, like, let me set up your kitchen and at least like have beautiful things for takeout, because what good is this pretty dining room if you're serving crap food? Like, you know what I mean? It's all part of it. So that's the premise.
Yeah.
I have to say, if I am eating takeout, I don't care if it's from Blackberry. It is going on a real plate.
Always. Yeah.
I just
Same.
have a thing.
Same.
Unless it was Chinese rice in the cute little box.
But that's aesthetic.
One thing.
That's cute with a chopstick sticking
Yeah,
out.
that I could do that, but I'm a stickler for
I did a segment. It was one of my most popular segments on Today that was a takeout dinner party. And it was all like blue and white, and it was takeout Chinese, and it was blue and white and silver pieces. And everybody has like little silver odds and ends around and things. And, it's all how you put it out and display it.
But also I think that, not to get us totally on a different topic, but I really think people should use their homes. And they have, so many people have beautiful homes, but they don't cook. And then I'm like, no one cares. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you want the food to be edible.
Yeah.
But if you order pizza, it's okay.
For sure.
And just set the table, and you don't even have to do some major flowers.
No, I'm like, the easiest thing is to do like a couple little like bud vases and put one thing in each.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot. We get this a lot with people like, oh, I want to have you over, but my house isn't done. And I'm like, throw that crap that's in the entry hall into the closet and have us over if that makes you feel better.
Right.
I don't care. Like, I don't care. I just want to come and hang out with you. Like, I'm not, and I really mean this. Both of us are this way. We're not those like bitchy gays that are coming in your house and like critique, like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, if this is going to make you happy to have this, like whatever it is, kooky this, or, weird this, like, I like stuff that probably other people don't like, whatever. I don't care. If it makes you happy, do it. And that's why I'm like really against decorating rules. I think that's weird. This is someone's house. This is where somebody lives. If I want to paint my small room dark, like, like Denver, like paint it dark. Like, I don't, like, if that's going to make you happy, the whole point of all of this stuff is to make you happy, to gather, to bring people together, your friends and your family. So,
to feel at home. I mean, everyone should feel at home in their own home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is interesting hearing, I haven't thought of this from a decorator perspective, but honestly, so many people would not have Sam and me over for dinner because when he entertained, now I've lowered the bar for everyone because I'm not a great cook. I like to cook, but I'm not like bringing out some, crazy dish, but he would go over the top. I mean, it wasn't formal and it wasn't, but it was
he's
just
like doing a lot.
I mean, he would like, harvest the lamb that afternoon.
Right.
And then here it is on the counter,
Yeah.
salt and pepper, which is a little too much for some people.
Right.
But the point is, he was really delivering this special
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
I'm more like, hey, can I make you some pasta or pull out a lasagna
Yeah.
that's homemade
Right.
out of the oven? But it was kind of weird because people were like, oh, we'll have you over sometime. And we're
Mhm.
like,
When?
we will help you. We will help you make
Yeah.
hamburgers.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we
Right.
like to cook, you
Right.
know, put us to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is interesting to think of that from y'all's perspective.
Yeah.
I
You know?
always try and tell people that, but how
Yeah.
often do we go over to friends' house? Good friends at
Mhm.
this point, they're like, come over for dinner. What do you want to make? And I'll like bring something or I'll come over, which is the fun
Right.
part.
Yeah.
And I'll cook with them. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's just hang out.
Well,
Yeah.
especially if they're great at, you know, making cocktails or
Right.
they like to set the table or
Right.
then everyone's doing their
Yeah,
part.
I think that's the fun part. Like, you know, let everybody get
Gathering.
in and gather and do things and, you know.
Okay, speaking of having kind of, I mean, y'all clearly have your own personal homes. Y'all have got your gig kind of down, who's kind of managing what, and you've got your vision and theme, and you're on the California beach, like the Sea Ranch inspired house. How do y'all manage, Eric? Let's start with you. How do y'all manage when, you know, the script in your head and what you think the client wants?
Mhm.
So, I mean, obviously that's your job. You're
Mhm.
delivering something they want.
Mhm.
But what do you do when the script you kind of go off script?
Well, my first project, which I talked about earlier, was fantastic. And I had creative freedom, and it was with someone I'd known for 20 years. So there was this ease. I just intuited what was going to work and what was going to make them happy and how they live and all of those things. So, and it was my first project. So it just really was kind of a magical little moment. My second project was for a different client, and that process was slightly fraught in the sense that they really dictated what they wanted me to do. They were not in town, but I kept getting these kind of, I want these draperies, I want this color on the sofa, I want this type of dining table, I want, and they really just kind of laid it out. So I was almost like a decorator for hire, and I was just really just buying things and putting them together. And it was awful. It was like, at the end of the day, it was just, I stood back and looked at it. And I thought, this is just horrendous. It's like, it's really just bad work. And what have I done? And they were happy. They loved it. They just couldn't, they thought it was just the greatest thing. But I really had like a critical eye, and I stood back and I just thought, I do not want to be this kind of decorator. So I really learned my lesson at that point. So kind of going forward from there, I really learned that I was going to be a little bit more strict about the process and be really upfront with the client at the beginning and say, here's the vision. It's going to be, white board and batten. We're going to have golden oak floors. We're going to have some linen. Here's some fabric, and kind of keep it loose and kind of lay the script out in a very kind of casual way. I very rarely do renderings. I can talk through things. I can kind of sketch things out as we're talking about the process, where furniture is going to go, etc. But then at that point, I really want to be set free to kind of go off and create my vision. I don't want to have to check in with you on every single purchase because I don't know what that's going to be right now. And I don't want you to fight me on this wicker chair because no one's thought about, and Nathan's mentioned this as well, we both kind of have this, no one's thought about this wicker chair more than me. It has the right scale, it's the right price, there's hundreds of moving pieces in this room, and this doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. So at the end of the process, if you still hate this chair, so be it.
We'll take it out, yeah.
Take it out, I'll pay for it, I'll do whatever, and I'll replace it. But I promise you, you're not even going to think about it once this room is finished.
It's one piece of the puzzle.
It's one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really look at it that way. And I think that a lot of times you have clients that really do want to be involved and really want to engage. And if you're lucky enough to have someone super creative, then it can be a great process. And I think that's the onus is on me as a decorator right up front to figure out if I'm going to engage with them in that way, or if it's going to turn into that other thing, which is this is what I want and I'm a decorator for hire. But most of the time what I've found is if I can kind of slightly wrestle control away and be upfront about that at the beginning, that most clients really, they say they want to be involved, but a lot of times they're happy to kind of give over to it and give over to the process. And not that they're uninvolved, but they are, they're engaged in a slightly different way. And I find that I can do my most creative work that way. It frees me up to kind of experiment and play and kind of add things. And so I don't get into a lot of situations where the script is flipped because I've been pretty clear about up front what the process is. And I think as long as you state what the process is and people know what it is, then you're going to be okay.
Someone's really got to be in charge of this. It's like so many decisions and a lot of money. And like Eric said, no one's thinking about it more than us. So
it's a very personal relationship. It's intimate. You're in people's homes. You're in
so
their bedrooms.
It's actually like weird when you think about it. I always I'm like, I know too much about you. Like this has got to stop. We have to have like some boundaries. Oh my God. And then I'm like, wait, what happened?
He said what?
Yeah. I'm listening. But it is true. It's like, but I understand from their perspective as well. That they are taking a huge leap of faith as well. Like I joked yesterday on the panel that like it's a wild like experience for the client as well when they're just like pain and pain and pain and pain. They're seeing like little pictures and this and that, and then a year. I've worked on projects that were like 3, 4, 5 years. It's like, I hope this turns out after all that money, but we know what we're doing. I'm like, I always tell people I have my 10,000 Malcolm Gladwell hours of experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really do. And I care and I have to steer the ship. Otherwise, we both have seen it that the more muddied it gets, the more chaotic it gets, you know?
Well, then
the
it
less
kind of
successful the work at the end
loses,
of the day.
it loses its, it muddies the work. You know,
Always.
it just loses the magic. But the other thing that I think is challenging for the design element is that, sorry to say, but almost every project lately is going longer because of construction for whatever reason, so many different reasons. But, and then, so then it's also over budget construction. And so I do understand how kind of towards the end, clients can be more anxious about the money because they've spent they're obviously not going to not put windows in. I mean, well, that's early in the stage. They're not going to not finish the bathroom.
But like accessories,
and
quite
then
often
suddenly
people are like,
it's like, you know, and so, but it is too bad because I do think that designers truly are so thoughtful about the budget. And so it's really unfortunate when that ends up losing, you know?
Ultimately, this kind of a process creatively, personally is like such an intimate experience. It is such a, we really connect with our clients. And it is why I am not, and you're the same, we are not competitive people. I am not competitive of other decorators. We're here with Rita Koenig, who is a wildly talented decorator. I love her and I love her work. And I want her to work because she makes pretty things. So I don't have, whoever is going to hire Rita is going to connect with her and they are going to flourish. And that's going to be why they did. And the same with me. My jobs are meant for me. Eric's jobs are meant for him. I don't covet people's jobs. I never have.
I love that. And I think it's a great perspective. And I try really hard not to be competitive. Anyway.
Listen, I'm going to preface it. I'm competitive. I'm competitive, very competitive with myself. I'm very competitive with my siblings. but I think like healthy competition is good. It's more like coveting that I'm
Right.
really
The jealousy and the
yeah. I think that's like just a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think back to Blackberry, where we are, is that really truly I do feel like you, the right client finds you, and the right client finds Eric and Rita, and it all works. And I think that's the way that Blackberry works, is that, you know, if someone is only going to go on vacation because they play golf on vacation, well, Blackberry's not the place for you. Although there is golf just 20 minutes away. but and I think that's what makes Blackberry special. In like our design summit, the guests who are here that we're going to have dinner with in 20 minutes, they are here because they were excited about meeting you or Rita, or just they love Blackberry and they were like, oh, wow, this is happening at the same time. And it all kind of just works for the right, it's like everyone finds the right place.
I believe that so strongly. And I love your perspective of how that idea and concept translates over here to Blackberry, because that is our experience both times we've been here. We always meet the nicest people here. You know what I mean? I know it sounds corny, but I think it's what you just said. It's all kind of like-minded people that are drawn to the same sort of thing, and same, whether it's the aesthetic, whether it's the horses, whether it's the food, but it's all the same feeling, really. And that's a really special thing to like be able to have that. It's just like, it literally is full circle, just gathering. It's just gathering on a bigger scale. You know, and gathering like-minded people, and
you do it really well.
Well, thank
Beautifully.
you so much.
Yeah.
It's
Seriously.
a team effort. Well, thank y'all so much for being here.
Thanks for having
I
us.
can't wait. Next time you're here, we're cooking dinner.
Yes, can we?
In my kitchen. I'll, find a lamb.
Oh my
Just
God, please
kidding.
don't.
Okay, wait,
Just
before
kidding.
we get out of here, I want to make sure people know where to find you.
Yeah.
So Instagram, Nathan Turner.
It's in Turner Design.
In Turner Design.
And NathanTurner.com.
Those are the best
And my
places.
cell is, just kidding.
and also, if you're in LA, check his shop out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come to the shop. It's on La Cienega Boulevard, right in the Design Center.
And Eric.
Eric Hughes Design is my Instagram handle, and EricHughesDesign.com.
Well, I love the consistency.
Yeah.
He didn't have a website when we met. He's so under the radar.
Yeah.
I was like, you have to have a website.
Well, I mean, I think when you start off with a bang with Sarah Jessica Park, word of mouth.
He was like, but it was, you said it yesterday. It's actually like, I think it served him so well because his clients are mostly from the entertainment industry, and they really like how like, I am not. I'm like da 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 da, out there, and he's really quiet. And a lot of people really want that. They just don't want a big fuss. They don't want someone that's out there, and
right.
It works
well,
out.
they know that he's not going to be, Instagramming their house.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank
Such
you
a
for having
treat.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.